chose. But real quick, last thing. There's been Cam Newton and a bunch of people have been you know highlighting the trainers, right? But been going at coaches, pro coaches, college coaches, saying like, because I think Calvin Ridley said, I learn more with my trainer than I
Mm-hmm.
do with my coach. Trainers are better than coaches. What's your opinion on that? Because you've played at the NFL level, you're
Mm-hmm.
coaching at a high level, you're coaching NFL guys, you're coaching guys to be elite. So, what's your opinion on the trainer being able to be an NFL coach and vice versa? What's the
I
difference?
feel like, okay, I have mixed opinions about it, and only because I know some good coaches that, because think about it, how did we get where we were? We had great coaches. So it's and then this training stuff has really just become a thing within the last 10 years.
Yeah. Yep.
So there was always coaches before there was trainers. But the thing is now is that with trainers, we have more time than the coaches to go over certain stuff. So like with trainers, it's almost like indie all the whole session.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So we get a chance to really focus on whatever part of the game that the athlete needs to work on. But as a coach, you got to make sure they understand the scheme and how to play within the scheme. So I feel like the biggest difference is the trainers, we can really just focus on you getting better at a certain thing because we got all day. You see what I'm saying? We got all day to do it. A coach, you already know. It's a 2-hour practice. You got 5-10 minutes of indie. Now we gotta go 7-on-7. We gotta do all pass scale. We gotta do all this. They don't have time.
Yeah.
And so that's why I feel like now a lot of the people are saying that the trainers kind of know a little bit more ball and stuff like that. When I feel like it's not the situation because a coach had to teach us. So it's just the fact that we have more time. You see what I'm saying? Every day we can pick a part of your game. Hey, we're gonna work off man today. We're gonna work eye discipline today. We're gonna work your press man. We're gonna work kick sliding, cutting people off at angles. We're gonna work playing certain leverages. We can do this all day. But you know what I'm saying? But a coach, they don't have all day to work on those small certain things. They just gotta make sure you understand the scheme so you can play fast and not think out there.
Nah, I agree 100%, and I usually don't like to get into this stuff because
Yeah.
in a coach and I've trained and I'm trying to do both at the same time, and it is frustrating when
Mm-hmm.
your DBs are lacking, but you got 15 minutes max, and it's like, and I'm like, that wouldn't even get me through my dynamic warm up.
Bro,
I'm training, right? Like,
it doesn't even get you through the warm up, man.
so I'm just like, all right, we got one on ones on the goal line. I guess we're doing press man for Indy, right? Goal line. Yeah, we got 7-on-7s. We go, okay, shoot, how can I make us better for this period? Not necessarily how can we grow on what we did yesterday.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think, like you said, I always shout out Gold Feet because that was like the first time I saw like training development and footwork and all this extra
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes. Yes.
And then you see now people trying to emulate it. That guy who's getting roasted on the internet for doing the little.
The flow. The flow.
And I'm like, and that's why I'm like, bro, you don't got to put everything on the internet, right? Like, I get it. I get you're trying to, and I can honestly, me personally, when it comes to trainers, like, I'll always try to work with them, give them benefit of doubt. Like, well, it is kind of hard to teach a stiff kid how to flow. Like I'm trying to work with you. Uh, but I agree with you again. I think and that's why I like talking with people like you, talking with different coaches, just in terms of IQ, right? I know some D2 coaches that can get up on the board and outcoach an NFL coach.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Like a high school coach
Yep.
that can get up on the board and outcoach a D1 coach, right? So
Yep. Yeah.
I think people get caught up in the labels, but it's not like I wasn't that same way. I thought D1 was the best players, the best coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And if that was
Mm-hmm.
and it's politics, it's relationships, we understand that, right? But
Yeah.
I'll end it with this: is I couldn't imagine as a trainer right? Like, oh, you think okay, you think you can coach? Okay, you got a week to game plan for Sean McVay. Go ahead.
Exactly. Go ahead now. Now sit in this room all day, break down all this film, have your game plan together. Like, yeah, man, it's a whole different ball game, bro.
And stand in front of the whole defense and confidently say, "Hey, this is how we're rocking."
Yes, and make them believe like this is gonna win us the game. You gotta make them believe all that, man. I say like that's why one thing about me, because you know once you played it and stuff like that, you understand. Man, they jobs ain't easy.
Yeah,
Like,
especially with recruiting now. And I think, what do you would you agree? Because of the NIL and the recruiting, like you can't really, you gotta, something's gotta give, right? Like I can't be the developer and the recruiter anymore.
so I'm glad you said that because if you notice, the development is gone. There is no more development in college football. And that's one thing I tell my kids all the time. I'm like, y'all got to understand the situation and the dynamic of everything has totally changed. Meaning, if you're not ready coming out of high school, you're most likely not gonna get a scholarship. And I tell them this is why I said the average kid will no longer get a scholarship for football anymore. You have to be an above average kid. And the reason why is because most colleges, they're that you know, when we played, what colleges would do, they would take kids, they would take kids, they development kids. They would take kids they felt like, oh, he really kind of raw right now, but we love his size and stuff like that. So if he came in, he sat for like a year and a half or something like that, he'll be ready by end of his sophomore junior year, beginning of his junior year. You fired by then.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So now what these coaches have done, the pressure of, like coaches are getting fired like crazy now. So the pressure to win right now has risen so much that coaches like, I'm not going to put my career in the hands of a 17, 18-year-old kid anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
Like now, I'm finna go get this 21, 22-year-old junior, senior that already know how to be a college football player. That I don't have to call him to make sure he's up. I know he know how to take care of business. He know how to get his tail up in the morning. He know how to be where he's supposed to be. He know how to be. He know how to be a college football player. He know how to prepare for games. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to study. He know how to read defense. All that. I don't got to worry about that no more. All I got, it's almost like a plug and play now.
that's literally what came into my head is plug and
Plug
play.
and play.
It's purely transactional now.
Yeah.
It's truly a business. But I will say, and I'll end it with this. There's plus and minuses to everything, but
It
now
is.
it's like, okay, kids are getting paid and I'm not getting developed. Now I got the money or I got the resources, right? Like now I'm going to pick six, right? Like, spring break, I'm going to pick six. Off season, I'm going to pick six, right? And
Yes.
that's just, I don't think any coach is really going to take my advice or needs to take my advice. But if I'm a D1 coach, if I'm the University of Houston, if I don't know how far these are. I'm just throwing out names. Texas State, right? I don't really know Texas like that, but
University of Houston, 10 minutes away from me.
yeah, right. Like, hey, I'm making my little whatever. It's like, hey, y'all, like, don't BS through, don't BS during spring break. Go down, see Jalil, and
Yep.
that's like a partnership where it's like, hey, like you're gonna be
Yes.
my assistant coach, right?
Yes.
Like, so that's if I'm a coach, right? That's what I'm doing, so I can get the development, I can get the relationships, right? So now it's a bridge program, right? Like so now the University of Houston is like pick six is 10 minutes away from me, 10 minutes,
Man,
away from us, right? So
you know,
I would be. That's what I would if I'm a coach. I'm finding the nearest trainer, and I'm getting
hey,
that's.
and these coaches are getting smarter now. They're starting to do that.
Hmm.
They're starting to establish a relationship with the trainers. But this is the thing. The coaches have to trust you.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for
The
sure.
coaches have to feel like you're somebody that know what you're doing. And at the same time, it has to be some form of communication between the coach and the trainer. So, like, perfect example, I had some relationships with the University of Houston. I trained a lot of their kids at one point. and before the new staff came, and that's because uh we established a relationship. So now it's almost like the coach is like, hey, I have a kid, he struggles with this. You
Mm,
see what I'm saying? Like, I know if he got with you during the summer or he worked with you a couple times a week, you'll be able to help him understand it more because you have more time. Because in the summer, the coaches really can't go out there and coach him
yeah,
like that.
yeah, because you're taking time away from recruiting or
Yeah,
or whatever, right? Like,
yeah.
but you
Hmm.
only get so many practices in the spring, but they ain't talk. That's
Yeah.
not including pick six workouts.
There you go. I I just come on campus, and we gonna get some work.
Yeah,
And now I'm helping them. You see what I'm saying? I'm helping them, and it's helping my brand. Like, man, I'm training the whole U of A secondary, stuff like that. So it's like
that's
a help
what's
me
up.
help you.
Yeah, that's what's up. And I like that. And the thing that I'm noticing is that we're finally at the period where you know people DB coaches are at a certain age and they came from a certain generation,
Yeah,
right? So now a
yeah.
lot of DB coaches that I'm seeing, I'm like, oh, they're my age or I've played with them.
Mm-hmm.
Understand they're like the new era of football is starting to intertwine, right? And
Yeah.
and they understand because back in the day, man, it was straight hate. Like there was no. They made sure to build a wall and don't even come to me about my trainer. Said, where'd you learn it? Oh, my trainer.
Yeah.
Nah,
Okay,
so
you bet not say my trainer. Hey,
well,
you
not
bet
saying
not say my trainer to a coach. He gonna look at you like, what? I don't I don't